Is there time for Canelo to fix this fatal flaw? Well, first let's take a look at what it is. So here he is on the front foot, pulling away from the bag here, right? Now, what's wrong with this? A lot of people think that there's nothing wrong with this, but he's actually losing control of his body mechanics here as he puts his body in a position where he can no longer throw punches, right? Now, why is that important? Well, because when you make a move like this, you want to punch after, right? And we're going to talk about a little bit what it is, but we're going to pay attention to Eddie Reynoso right now in the background, and he's going to be dragging his weight this way, yelling some stuff at Canelo, telling him to turn, okay? Turn. Now, notice the difference in what Canelo does when he comes up this time, right? He starts turning his shoulder, right? Rolling away from it. And now next, all of the big weight transition, right? Look at him trying to get his heel, knee, head, a much more succinct line and much more different position, right? Because this is the position that he's going to be able to throw his best right hand from. Now, why is this important? Well, it's important because Canelo has a habit of kind of sitting on the line. So here is Erislandy Lara shooting the jab at him, controlling him, and he looks to pull away, right? Look at the position that he's in. He's trying not to get hit by the jab, and he's just kind of pulling away and moving on the line into this punch, right? Not really slipping off the line and bringing his weight to the back foot, right? Kind of just getting stuck there. But this is a problem that he has, and he continued to have here as he pulls away and gets hit with a big pendulum jab. Now, I do expect Billy Joe Saunders to have a pendulum jab. So if Canelo is still pulling away from his shots like this, he's going to have a big problem pulling away like this and getting hit. Now, there are some coaches that think that this is a good tactic for defense, pulling away. Tony Jeffries comes to mind. He has a bunch of videos where he says pulling away or stepping off the line. But against a really good athlete or a really good boxer, you're going to have a lot of problems with fighters that can feint and make attacks, right? If you try to pull off the line or just step off the line, you put yourself in a really bad position here. And Canelo finding himself in this position over and over and over again, as he can't really get his head off the line without slipping. And even though he gets away from the first punch, right here, he doesn't get hit by the first straight left hand from Lara. He does get hit by the follow-up cross and then the follow-up left hand. Now, this is a problem that he still has not fixed, okay? Even in the Daniel Jacobs fight, he's trying to pull away and step off the line here and winds up getting hit with an easy 1-2. Control, boom, as he's trying to move off the line. He is trying to parry it a little bit, right? But he doesn't slip his head to the back foot, right? Which means he's not really going to be getting his weight and his head off of that front foot, which, again, is going to be very dangerous for him. Now, again, why is it dangerous or where is it bad? Even if you don't get hit, right? By the time he's able to get his weight back into the line, Daniel Jacobs is already gone. And we all know that Billy Joe Saunders is going to be a better southpaw than Daniel Jacobs, right? So, this is one of those things that he's going to be having to fix, and this is one of the things that you can see that he's actually actively working on in camp and trying to work on. Now, why is this important? Well, this is the root of his pull counter, which is going to be one of the punches he's going to need if he's going to want to have a chance to beat Billy Joe Saunders. He's not going to be able to beat Billy Joe Saunders just by blasting forward and jumping on the line and throwing one power shot. Billy Joe Saunders will be able to beat him. So Canelo is going to have some offense on defense. So if he's not able to execute a pull counter, he's going to be missing half of his offense. Now, here's a clip of him practicing some pull counter like motions here on the mitts. Boom, slip, back foot, front foot, right? Trying to practice those motions and trying to practice them in a practical way, right? On the mitts, into the straight right hand, into the left hook. Now, this could be really good for Canelo if he can chain all of these weight transitions together, because normally Canelo is kind of a 1 or 2 weight transition fighter. He'll get on the line, he'll throw one punch, and then one feint, and then one big punch, okay? And it'll either be that, with the left, or it's almost always the left into the right, or he'll just blast in while kind of feinting the right high, and then take a step to throw the left hand. Now, anyway, Yeah, so interesting stuff from Canelo. If you're paying attention to the idea that he's training here and he's on this bag, where was it? Over here. And that's what he's supposed to be working on, is his slips and his head movement. And he's still struggling to work on it here in training, right? How is he going to perform it in the ring, right? How is it going to translate? Is this going to be something that Billy Joe Saunders is going to be able to take advantage of? Is this going to be something that Canelo has fixed? Because we see that he's working on it, right? But we can see that tendency immediately to be trying these kinds of defenses. And Billy Joe Saunders being a combination puncher, right? He does like to throw lots of combos, lots of punches. That kind of defense, if he's not able to manage his weight and find a way to get to the back foot, even this position here is not going to be an excellent position for him. He's going to need to be able to get his weight almost all the way to the back foot, this one being a much better position, to execute his pull counters. As you can see here, pulling off the line and then into the uppercut, left hook, right? So anyway, just something interesting that I saw in his camp and I saw in his training, that his coach was trying to promote him to getting into position 2 and not trying to pull off the line, because at the highest level, if you're expecting and it's not even the highest level, because even at the lowest level, when people start to get tired, people will take chances and throw pendulum punches that they haven't necessarily set up, right? And if your main defense is just stepping off the line or pulling off the line so you can pull back, it's very dangerous. Ask Mayweather, right? That was his go-to defense for a long time until Marcos Maidana finally almost knocked him out. And one thing I want to point out about that defense, because Mayweather used it all the time, but what you guys probably don't realize is that Mayweather also got countered in that position in almost every single fight he had, okay? Carlos Baldemir caught him while he was trying that same thing, right? He caught him with the exact same punch that Marcos Maidana caught Mayweather with in their fight. Almost every single fighter Mayweather ever fought picked up on that trap and was able to find it and figure it out. It's a very, very basic trap, and pulling off the line is a very, very, very low-level defense. So be careful, guys. Canelo is going to need to be careful. If he can't get his head off the line, he's going to be in for a long night.